Hello once again, welcome to the program. I'm Charles Aitib. Now, the National Cybersecurity Center has received in excess of 8,000 cases of cybercrime between January and August this year alone. According to the center, these attacks have been targeted at mobile money transactions and electronic platforms of various commercial banks with high digital operations in the country. The National Cybersecurity Advisor, Dr. Antwi-Boasiako, spoke to Joy Business ahead of the launch of this year's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, celebrated each and every October.
Banking transactions were being done through digital platforms. In fact, I remember GIPS put up a data in terms of mobile money usage during the time. Right. So these are the background development. Now, from the cyber criminology perspective, once you have a lot more people connecting to the internet or digital platforms, then that creates avenues for the criminal attacks. Indeed, cybercrime is a crime of numbers. If I'm able to develop a malicious program that is designed to intercept banking credentials, of course, that requires a huge, input in terms of the development. So I wouldn't just target one bank. Every existing bank will be a target. Every added customer on the e-banking platform will then therefore become a potential target. So it is normal that we should see an increase with respect to cybercrime, is that indeed there is data backing the increase with respect to cybercrime reporting. Last year, the Minister for Communication, Honorable Weslows, launched cybercrime, cybersecurity incident reporting point of contact, and that has been very active from January to August this year. The center has received more than 8,000 cases, but we recorded a surge from March of this year when COVID-19 got to us. So these are the development, and we need to create awareness using the Cyber Awareness Month to ensure that not only businesses but also individuals, of course, who are the customers of businesses, are protected. Because once the individuals are protected, for example, in a banking environment, for example, if a banking customer is aware of the cyber risks, certainly it reduces the investment that the banks will need to put in place also to protect their network. It's a collective engagement, really. Once we have a user exercising or practicing certain cyber hygienic practices, it favors the business in terms of how they can operate their digital platforms in a very secure manner.
So with that, what the center is doing is the awareness month and all that. How is this year's program going to be like? What should we expect?
Thank you. I think COVID-19 has changed the way of doing things, and of course the center's activities as far as cyber one is concerned has also been impacted. For example, last year we had only physical engagement. This year we're doing a hybrid approach. Hybrid means we are having some sort of physical engagement, both in Accra and across the regions. But principally, we've also adopted a number of virtual channels that will allow many people to participate, businesses, government, the public, even children. So we have 4 thematic areas. The first week of the event will focus on child online protection. That will focus on some safety practices for children. Then the second week will focus on awareness creation for the public. And mobile money fraud is one of the thematic areas which we are engaging to disseminate the message, because we believe that once we intensify our awareness creation efforts on mobile money transactions and related fraud, we are likely to prevent the fraud by 75% because of the modus operandi that malicious actors in that space are using. So we really want to intensify that awareness creation effort. For businesses, it's good. Our concern is the protection of the critical information infrastructure, the banking platform, the energy infrastructure, the health infrastructure, the telecommunication infrastructure that actually is keeping us active once we have a lockdown. COVID-19, we need to review what potential impacts on these critical systems in relation to cyber crime and cybersecurity, and take stock. And as a government, also engage with the private sector stakeholders to see how best we can scale up our effort in terms of protection in that space.
What's the collaboration with the agencies, i.e. the banks, the government agencies, with the awareness month? Yes.
I think essentially the National Cybersecurity Technical Working Group, which was established by the Honorable Minister for Communication in 2017, has become a mechanism by which cybersecurity is being discussed at the technical level. So we have the NITA, for example, NCA, BNI, CID, EOCO, FIC, NI, Data Protection, and others who are actively involved in the planning and involvement of this particular event. So within government, absolutely there's that coordination around the Cyber Month event. But cybersecurity is not only a business for government. The private sector is key. So we've brought in a number of private sector players who are also involved in the planning and eventually the delivery of the various activities that are scheduled for the month of October.
Is everything happening in Accra?
No, I think that wouldn't be fair. I think Accra has benefited from our work. Of course, the capital. But for the past 2 years, we realized that we need to reach out to our brothers and sisters, our citizens outside Accra. So, this year is very unique because we've deployed virtual platforms. So you may be somewhere in Bolga or Kumasi or Sunyani, and you can still join in to follow proceedings and even ask questions and make submissions. So that is a dimension that we are looking at, reaching out with the masses across the country. But apart from that, we've also teamed up with certain stakeholder groups across the regions, all the 16 regions. So we'll be going through the regions, and the partnership that we have with those institutions, we can then also touch base and send awareness and the capacity building programs to people in the various parts of the country. So it's really a busy month for us. For the cybersecurity in the era of COVID-19, I think, of course, there can be a better team that has been selected by the planning committee, and we just need to create awareness. There has been a biological virus. COVID-19 is a biological virus that has really brought the world to a halt in months. That has also killed a number of people. Now the fear from the cybersecurity community is we may also wake up one day and our whole critical information infrastructure has also been compromised by a computer virus. This is possible. It has happened indeed before, in which power grids have been shut down by ransomware, by malicious programs. Now it's a question of the skill, and I think it won't take long before we get there. And that is one thing businesses need to look at it in terms of protection. But of course, government is always an enabler, and that is why the government is leading in terms of policy strategy development. That is why the Ministry of Communication is introducing cybersecurity legislation to cover any existing loopholes with respect to our laws. And that is why we're also creating awareness. But really, it's a collective business among all the community members, businesses, the public, individuals, working closely with government. I think we can.
Well, and you did hear the National Cybersecurity Advisor, Antwi-Boasiako, in that discussion there with my colleague Ebenezer Sabotim. It's all part of plans ahead of the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which kickstarts from October, which is just a few hours away, tomorrow exactly. We shall be giving you updates on how to stay safe online, especially when fraudsters are gravitating towards the cyberspace in these recent times.